Good morning. Good morning. Make sure I got audio here. Testing. Yep. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. So the one that I see today is HLP. Um, or I say the one that I see today, the top volume mover of the day. It's got almost 5 million shares traded in it. I kind of watched FRGT kind of fade yesterday. I really thought it was going to be able to do something out there at 70, but it just continued to fade. Especially when it went for the double bottom, it just dropped on through. Um, what was I doing? I am trying to. Oh, it's gonna look it up real quick. This HLP. Dunzo, and there we go. All right, but yeah, they dropped the FOMC news earlier this week, and everybody was kind of trading the SQQs, and I saw people trading all of the things that get really affected by CPI. Just kind of watched and kind of see how they did, and some people did very well. Some people got caught in thinking that things would turn out for the worst. You know, and they got smoked, but it happens. Definitely happens. Let's go over here and look at HLP trade. So out here on the monthly chart, and actually let me show y'all how I actually go through this. So HLP, if I was going to be going into this trade, let's go back over here to this and let's pop into the trade research. So this is basically a very consolidated guide that I made for myself just to read over and what I kind of do every single day, right? And I continue to kind of with the statistics mold this to something better. But yeah, it says the things I've learned from trading small caps. Number one, grade every single trade. Number two, know why the trade received the grade. I'm trying to close my position 100% on the day, especially for a planned day trade, right? Don't want it to turn into a swing trade. Strategies that I like historical support, and I like multiple tests around obvious support. Base criteria, looking for small caps, up 10%, looking for at least a volume of 1 million. Need a range of at least, or ATR of at least 1. Relative standard deviation needs to be over 1. Relative volume needs to be at least 2 times the normal relative volume. And then I need to have a good understanding of what the overall market is doing. Is the NQ, is the SPY bearish? Is it bullish? What is it doing? Tips for myself. Number one, I am super impatient and I need to trust the system. That's one that I always have to go back over, because I get into these trades and I'm like, maybe I did the wrong thing. It met the criteria, it did everything else. Maybe I'm wrong. And in those situations, I just have to sit back and say, okay, I got the risk managed, let this thing play. Number two, my trades that meet my criteria usually go further than anticipated, which has happened a lot. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe this thing will go 20 cents, and then I'm sitting up $1 per share. Number three, I need to wait for consolidation before I place a stop. So if something is heading down or whatnot, I'm looking for it the slowest motion towards a support, get in, and then looking for that higher consolidation for the next move higher. Now, a lot of times that consolidation gets choppy, and it can chop me out. But so far, with the way that I've been calculating my stops have been just out of range and not getting hit. So, that's been working out. Doesn't mean it's going to work out forever. Number four, I'm already buying low. Just need to wait for the resolution. Number five, if my stop is not hit, I need to wait for that consolidation, like I was saying, above the stop before moving the stop up. So very simple guide there that I do. The other thing is the calculator. So every day, like I said, you got to calculate or grade every trade. So basically, I look at the different variables. Does it have an obvious catalyst? Does it have obvious support? Does it have an obvious trend? Is the relative volume up? Is the relative standard deviation up? And is the overall what is the overall market sentiment? Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Or is it trading sideways? And so I just grade this every day. So speaking of all that, let's jump over to HLP and answer some of these questions. First off, is there a obvious catalyst? So let's jump out here to the catalyst. Today, HLP, top pre-market gainers, top 2 material stocks want to dump this quarter, where Hongli says on September 29, 2023, the board of directors appointed some new CFO, okay, but not really an obvious catalyst right there, right? So the first thing I'll do is come over here and I'll keep that at a 0 because I don't see a catalyst. Number 2, obvious support. Let's jump out here to the charts, starting with the monthly chart. So right here, there was some type of buying pressure right here around the 142 down to the 105s that I was seeing earlier. Could be some type of support there. But it doesn't have the catalyst, but could be some support right here. And you can see it on the weekly as well, right in here in this zone between 140s and $1. So I would go ahead and grade that as a 1 because it's not super obvious. It's kind of a support. Okay. Next one, does it have a obvious trend? So we've seen this thing get beat down over the months, beat down, beat down, beat down. But it does have these pops. So is the trend obvious? I would say no for me, just looking at it on the monthly. Usually I look for trends on the monthly though. But yeah, just not really seeing a upwards or downwards trend. So that would receive a 0. Next one is the relative volume. So this one will go over here to this scan, relative volume. I'm looking for a relative volume of 2 times norm. I'm looking for a standard deviation, 2 deviations out from the norm. So we go out here to HLP, we can see the relative volume is not 2. So that's going to receive a 0. And the relative standard deviation is not 2 out. So that's going to receive a 0. The next thing, I don't know why. Where's my ATR? ATR should be on here, but I'm looking for an ATR of at least 1. This one has 54. I don't know what happened to that ATR one. It's whatever. But either way it goes, this one's going to be a failing ticker for me. It only received a score of 10 out of 100. So I wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot pole. But, you know, HLP just not getting it. Let me add back that that other one, my ATR. Am I tripping? I must be tripping. Insert, shift those cells down. This ATR should be in here. Oh, I remember. No, never mind. ATR didn't need to be in here because I don't trade anything under 1. That's why I took it off. Okay. That makes sense. So variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables along with it's got to have the ATR of 1. If it doesn't have that, it automatically fails this anyway. So, you know, below that, I'm just not really touching them. All right, but we'll see if anything else happens. Right now, HLP is up 37%. I was looking at FRGT. That thing just continued to grind down yesterday. I mean, it made this one little move of about 10 cents in here. About 10 cents. And to me, when I think about it, I'm like, okay, is I've seen myself make 50 cents. I've seen myself make $1 per share. Is 10 cents going to be is it going to satiate my need for what I want, right? Good morning, Mike D and Donnell. Is it going to satiate me just 10 cents after I can go into my journal and see that I'm making 50 cents? You know, these A plus setups giving me $1 move. Is 10 cents going to do it for me? And the answer is absolutely not. So that's why I kind of stay away from just those 10-cent movers or the ones with a very low ATR. And it still has a pretty low ATR. Its ATR is 10 cents. Dot 1082. So almost 11 cents. And it was super choppy from yesterday. Moved. And the thing is, most people, even if you were waiting, even if you waited for this long wick and everything, you just jump in. That's cool. You got in at 107. And if you held up to this point right here, 122, that's an okay move, right? But what if you tried to wait for the breakout up here of 140? You would have got slammed down on, right? And not only slammed down on, it broke the previous level of that 190 coming down, and then confirmed that this 90 cents was a actual level of resistance. So just pretty dangerous one right there. I just kind of stay away from those that are under $2. They just don't give me what I want. But yeah, I'm building out statistics, building out more and more statistics. Hopefully, I have a whole lot of trades with this strategy. I want to get at least 200, 300, 400 trades just to see how it does over the course. Because right now it's only been 3 months or something like that, and it's been pretty green. I've only had one or two red trades, and then everything else has been green. So you know just want to get, that doesn't mean that this is a successful strategy yet, because I want to get more data. I want to say, hey, I took 300 trades with this strategy. Hey, I took 500 trades with this strategy, and it's still good. That's where I want to be. But yeah, if you guys are seeing anything or you trading anything on continuation that may be still moving, um, definitely put it in the chat and we'll take a look. Oh, this was a previous mover. Okay, EOSC is down 29% right now. Man, when I tell you that dividend portfolio is still doing great though. I did not expect it to be holding up. My dividend portfolio is performing just below most of the, what do you call them? Like the, what do they call them? Like BlackRock's and all those other investment portfolios. That's where mine is. So I'm trying to get it above it and then start to creep above it. Just get it higher and higher and higher. But it is doing great. I've been receiving payments it was every week, but now it's kind of becoming like every couple of days. I get some kind of payout from it, so it's pretty good. But I do like that increase in frequency. Good morning, Lori Lee. So this new year, or actually, let's go over here. Let's go and jump to where I want to go. Here. Okay. Let's look through some things. Eurozone likely in recession. Climate deal stab in the bag. Okay. ETFs. Yeah, I got some ETFs. ETFs are great. They are great. Market events. Let's refresh this. I don't think this is current. Maybe it is. Okay, Darden Restaurants earnings, China industrial production, retail sales, vehicle sales, foreign direct investments, U.S. Empire. Okay, let's jump over here. Refresh. All right, bets are on March rate cut. Man, they've been talking about rate cuts. Every Nobody even believes it anymore. It's like we don't care, bro. We're just gonna keep trading. U.S. futures rise, new Dow record in sight. They show some guy sprinting across the floor, getting his sprint on. BOFA investors go all in on infallible Fed. Oil on track for first weekly gain since October. Yeah, I saw that. It was finally coming back up. I'm not gonna mess with it. 3 unstoppable artificial intelligence stocks to buy and hold. Trash. Kathy Wood has doubled down on this artificial. Okay, everybody's a little bit of circulation of AI today. Treasury yields, not too interested in that. Billionaire Warren Buffett has a McDonald's gold card that gives him free meals for life. I mean, yeah. I doubt he eats at McDonald's every day, though. I highly doubt that. Bull market is coming. Army awards $115 million contract to Palantir 36 minutes ago. Or that news report was 36 minutes ago. Kathy Wood's ARC Innovation EFT ETF. More boomers are staying in their jobs instead of retiring. They're working longer hours and making more money. New Pew data finds. Okay. 2 hours back. All right. Let's jump over here to CNN or BBC. Hungary blocks 50 billion pounds. I guess that's the sign for pounds. I believe it is. Of EU funding for Ukraine. Ukraine in mortal danger without aid. Beating, okay. What the crown got wrong, blah, blah, blah. All right, I don't see any. Let's go over here to business. Russian gas giant makes 39 million profit in North Sea. Okay, nice. So Russia's still doing great with the oil. Quest to find healthy, cheap sweeteners. That's impossible. Oh, man. Wait. Driverless car firm Cruise to cut 900 jobs. Well. Spotify did the same thing. I mean, they pretty much got everything built out, so they're just getting rid of people that they don't need. You're not like a top level engineer, or you're not there to just solve the big problems. Oh, there's Spotify right there. Speaking of it, the next thing when I scroll down, yeah, so mass layoffs from Spotify. I mean, you really got to have a pretty top level job to stay there. Everybody else not safe. Actually, the safest person in there is probably the janitors. Let's see. Hugh Boonville on how art makes us human. Mike D asks, do you like HUBC? Let's go look at that. HUBC up $2.98. Let's go and look at what it's got. It's got Hub. Wait, let's pull this news up. Hub Cybersecurity. This is an Israeli, looks like what, top tier, secures prestigious position as prime vendor in major deal with top tier Israeli defense contractor for advanced real-time battle computing solutions. Okay. Collaboration. According to the agreement, Hub will provide uh, confident, confidential computing and ancillary cybersecurity services to joint solutions to be used in a wide range of on-ground applications. Okay. So they back on the 12th, they announced a 1-for-10 reverse share split. This may be this may capture some people's hearts here today. Hub wins 15 million on the project, so they've got some news in December too. It's not the worst, definitely. Let's throw that up there. HUBC on the watch. It is up, wow, up 1,000 something percent, huh? The only thing that it doesn't have, that ATR is the only thing that's killing it. It would have been on my charts, but ATR is 6% or 6 cents right now over here. So if it comes up to 10 cents, then it'll pop up. Relative volume and all of that, it has only super low volume right now. Only 100,000 shares there. So, but it does look like it's a low float. Let's jump over to Yahoo and see the statistics on the float and all of that stuff. But yeah, that one doesn't look horrible today. Let's go look at this. Yahoo. HUBC. HUBC. Statistics. Looking at a float of 4.78 million, very low float, and it looks like it's got a good bit of insiders, 37% insider holding there. Okay. Let's cross-reference this with HUBC. Right. So same thing over here, about a 4 million float, and insiders are holding a good bit of it. So we'll see what kind of reaction this gets. And shares outstanding is what, 8 million. It is not shortable, not optionable. That's what it says. Okay. HUBC. This one has a public float of 43.55 million on Market Watch. Wonder why it's such a big discrepancy. One says 4 million on the other two, and then this one says 43. Okay. Let me just continue to look around. That's kind of odd. HUBC. No shelf registrations. Float, shares float. This one has 42 million in the float. So two sources say 4 million, then two sources say 42 million. Okay. Jump over to their profile. Technology, based out of Israel, software infrastructure. Hub Cybersecurity Limited provides cybersecurity solutions in Israel and internationally. The company offers Hub Secure File Vault, a supercharged managed file transfer backed by dedicated hardware-driven security, which creates a secure enclave to protect the organization's data-driven workflows. Okay. So they have incident response, SAAS, DDoS, RAM commander. Okay, so they pretty much got everything a normal SOC would have. Okay, so the company was founded in 2017. Let's actually go and look on the charts. So we see some discrepancies in the float between those two or a couple of charts. Let's go, I mean not charts, but sources. Let's go jump over here to the chart. Right now it is trading up here at it hit a high of 298. wherever 290.80 is, right there, somewhere up in there. And then it has this gap here up to 502. So is it trying to fill this gap is the question. Has the gap on the monthly. And that is a really obvious gap because this is the highest time frame you pretty much can go back to. So let's zoom back. Has another gap here from the weekly, and this gap is, this one's a little bit more out there. I mean, it's $8 to 760, little gap up there. So the big gap we put on was from the 296 up to the 502. That's on the monthly. Then there's a smaller gap up here that we put on. Let's jump over here to the daily chart, which we can see those gaps a little bit better. You scroll back a little bit. There are the gaps, and it's also a gap up here to the $9 on the daily. So a lot of levels that could be gap fills. Right now, sitting at $2.30. If we look on here on the 4-hour, it does look like it's getting some type of resistance from touching this previous 296. We'll have to see how that works out on this next couple of opening candles, but definitely a nice hammer down from what we've seen. So let's jump over here to the 15-minute. Mike D says it has 20. It was 20% up this morning. Yeah, it's not looking horrible. We'll see if it can do what it does, but it says 1,000-something% up. So I don't know. 1,050% up is crazy. But yeah, we'll flip back and forth between that. CCC is still on the board as well, making moves. CCC. So these will be our top three, but CCC has been on continuation forever. So I don't even know how that's going to play out here on Friday. Had this big move up here to the 837s and then came right back flat to this previous level of what looks like support. So I don't know if that thing's going to be anything, but I will definitely keep my eye on HLP and HUBC for today, especially HUBC. It's kind of interesting. We'll see which one wants to move out of the open. We have about less than a minute into the open. Very interesting. Reliable Rudy called out ESPR neckline trade at 150. Let me pull that up. ESPR. Got about 36 seconds. Let's jump over there real quick. ESPR making some moves up 1% on the day right now. I don't see any news for it, but it is getting up there. We'll see which one of these. We got 4 on the charts right now. But yeah, we'll see which one of these 4 will do their thing here. I'll start off probably watching HUBC. And then if it just does not move, we'll jump over to HLP or ESPR. And we'll also look over these charts in just a minute as well. So coming out here, still super low volume on this one though. Not even 200,000 shares yet. So I'm gonna come back to this one. We'll go over here to HL. Wow, HLP straight down. I saw this range down here to the 105, but you know, that's his first move going down towards that. Finding a little bit of buying pressure from that one. CCC throwing a wick up there as well. Getting back above or trying to hold above the 575s. ESPR up 3% on the day as well. Letting them kind of play. Letting them play. HUBC, just not a whole lot of motion there. HLP. Getting bought off of there. So we do see these wicks trying to come back up here and hold this 120 level. So will this be able to hold over these multiple looks like what is buying in here? Will it be able to break back over the 125 area here is the question. Right now, it has one of the best ATRs though, 53 cents on its ATR. It just needs to break through the 125. Let's go back over here to CCC. Still piling up, move from the 160 up to the 190s, almost to $6, up 16%. ESPR launching up there. All right, so will we get this test on HLP over 125 or not? If it closes above this low of the 110, you could risk 110 as your low and look for the break over 125. But it's the only one that has high relative standard. Oh, looks like it's going to try it. HLP looking hungry. Right now, it's got the best look to come up here and maybe try to go for these 40s. Maybe try to hold the 30s first over that 125. Let's see if they get those buyers in there. Has it's only been the first 2 minutes of the market though, so we'll see. Back over to ESPR, up 7% now. CCC, HLP, HUBC went on down. HLP coming on towards this 105 level. Throwing a little wick towards that 105. And this level, if we look out here on the monthly, this is where I was like, this could be support right here at 105. So we'll see how it holds 105. It has tested that level and it's looking like it's going to hold. I will wait for this candle to close on the 15-minute though to make sure it can hold that 105. Because if it opens up here, you can use 105 as an out and, you know, let it ride if it's going to go up. All right, CCC continue to pile up as well. Broke over 6, up 22% right now. Good morning, GD. Good morning, Reliable. Good morning, everybody that has tuned in. We're watching 4 main stocks. I may take HUBC off, but I guess 3 main stocks: HLP, CCC, and ESPR. ESPR was a call by Reliable Rudy. I have not seen this one. Let's go and look at those charts. So looking at ESPR, I don't even know what this stock does. Let's see. Okay, been trading around. Let's jump over here and see what ESPR does. It's a drug manufacturer based out of the United States, healthcare. Okay. Esperion Therapeutics pharmaceutical company develops and commercializes medicines for the treatment of patients with elevated low density lipoprotein or LDLs cholesterol. Its lead product candidates are Nexletol and Nexlizet tablets for the treatment of patients with atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease or heterozygous familial hypercholesterolemia. The company has a license and collaboration agreement with Daiichi Sankyo Europe GmbH and Serometrics to license its oral small molecule PCSK9 inhibitor program. Okay, so healthcare, you know, working on those bad cholesterol, that LDL, right? Um, Trying to remove that, and they got some pills for that, right? There's a pill for everything. CCC coming back under 6. Dallas, what's up? What's up? We're out here watching a couple movers. CCC, like I said, is coming back under 6. Let's jump back over here to HUBC, finding a little bit of uh, pressure right at this $2 level. We'll see what it's up 968% right now. So definitely up a lot. HLP holding above this 105 that we had called out earlier still, but this candle needs to close for confirmation. And then ESPR pulled back as well, back away from that $2. I'm thinking HLP is gonna probably do like one pop because it doesn't have a clear catalyst. But I think it can do like one pop and then be done. Be done. CCC dropping, or not dropping, kind of just taking its time. It did a breakout of this level here at the 560s, and it may need to come back and test this level. The question is, if it comes back, will it hold this 560, 570-ish level? Let me see. Reliable says I'm only touching ESPR if it gets close to 150. Nice. Okay, I see. If anybody was wondering, I'd rather watch GNS right now. Let's see what GNS is doing. GNS. Oh man, this thing is down there, isn't it? It's up 24%. Came down here to 65 cents. Looks like it got some kind of revenue news or something. Earnings news. Fat Brain AI. I don't know about that one. GNS. It's gonna need to get over $1, bro. But maybe it has some news coming down. But we have seen Actually, wasn't this one that we've seen before? GNS. Wasn't it a mover at one time? Let me go back and look. GNS was formerly up here like $8 and something, and now it's under $1. So maybe it's starting something up here. I don't really know. We'll just throw it over here just in case. And I'm just making a little list over here on my scans. HUBC, GNS, HLP, CCC, and ESPR. I have to go back and look at those and see if that GNS is a previous mover. All right, let's jump back over to HLP is what we're looking at to hold that 105. It's still trying to hold up this 105. We'll see if it can break it. Will it break and reclaim? ESPR still didn't make it to 1 million shares traded. CCC absolutely capsized back down here to this breakout level. Back down to under the 575s there on CCC. HLP still holding up this 105. I think it's got the best look to try to pop back up to highs. I don't know how strong it will be over the 125s here though from this 105 hold. But it is finding a little bit of buying pressure. So 105 would be kind of like the bottom. And it's based on the monthly chart. It's not based on this chart I'm looking at, which is the 15-minute. It's based on this. Or wait, wrong one. It's based on this 15-minute 105, or this monthly 105 level here. Right here. This zone we were looking at from 105 up to 125. We had looked at this before, and we'll see what it wants to do from there. Trying to get on down there though. I'm gonna take CCCC off. I mean, it doesn't even look attractive anymore with that big top and tail. It's had multiple days of running, so take that off. Another one popping up, VRCA, 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 up 470 right now. Let's jump back and see what the charts look like for it. VRCA, this is the monthly chart, has been getting a little beat down, but has made a new high over the 411s up to the 480s. Let's go see what this stock does. VRCA. This is a healthcare biotech company, Verica Pharmaceuticals. Verica Pharmaceuticals Inc., a clinical stage dermatology therapeutics company, develops medications for the treatment of skin diseases in the United States. The company's lead product candidate includes BP102 for the treatment of molluscum to oh my gosh, I'm breaking my tongue. Hold up. Okay. Molluscum contagiosum, I don't know, man, whatever the word is, that has completed phase 2 clinical trial. What is it? Oh, it's external genital warts medicine there. So external genital warts is what it's doing. And then let's see, they also have something treating common warts, and it's also developing a VP315 and oh my gosh, I'm just breaking my brain with these words. Whatever, injectable therapy for the treatment of dermatology oncologic conditions, so skin cancers, including basal cell carcinoma and oh my gosh, whatever carcinomas, whatever cancers these are. And another one treating plantar warts. So a lot of warts and a lot of skin diseases that they're trying to treat there. Okay, so that one's doing its thing up to 484. So we'll throw that one up there to watch as well. It has 2 million shares in the volume. 2 million shares in the volume. Reliable's calling out Oprah. OPRA has a decent neckline. OPRA. HH Trader, do you ever use alerts for breakouts and or pullbacks? Thank you. Yes, but I do that on longer term investments. When I'm looking for something to break down, I'm like, man, this thing might take a month to get there. I just put the alert in. But with day trading, I really don't. Because usually I want to be there managing it, and usually alerts just don't work for me with what I'm looking for. It could be in and out in seconds, and I'm like, oh man, it reached my level, and the buyers came in, they killed it. So usually not for day trading, but for longer stuff like longer term investments for sure. I throw those alerts in there. Okay, so VRCA pushing back into this previous level of resistance, had a high up here of 571 based on the 15-minute, and the body of this is back down here at the 450s. Dallas says, show me a hey man, they've been coming out with some stuff this month. They have the birth control gel. So it's not a pill that you take, but it's a gel that you apply, and it'll kill, the fetus. Then they had genital warts, and then they had breast cancer news, or was it breast cancer? It was something dealing with maternal something. So they've definitely been dealing with a couple bodily issues. I guess they're trying to, help people out with their New Year's resolutions. Some people, they come into the new year, they want to exercise. Some people are like, hey, I got these warts. I hope to God I can get rid of them. And they're coming out with solutions. So, there is literally a pill for everything. All right, so VRCA pulling back a little bit. HUBC just not receiving the love that we would want it to receive. GNS pulling back as well. HLP did break down this 105 level, so I'm wondering, can it recapture 105? Will it be able to hold up this $1? Very, very sketchy trade there on HLP. Very sketchy. ESPR though, after the pullback, looks like it's trying to make its way up, just reaching 1 million shares traded. But it looks like VRCA is really receiving a lot of the juice on the day. So we'll see what happens when it tests. Will it be able to hold over the 450 level is the question. Let me read some of these chats. Oh wow, it's a song. I did not know. I did not know. Yeah, the alerts do the same for me. They're not good for quick enough. Exactly. Um, I did large scale study on seasonality, and usually healthcare goes up during this time. Yup, yup, because it's flu season, and now they're having the difficulties of determining if somebody has the flu or COVID because a lot of the symptoms are so alike. So that makes sense. Let me see. Dallas says Nightbot. Reliable says, "Oh, nice. Fine VRCA, pretty solid look. Yeah, yep. VRCA does not look bad at all for that, especially for a 450. A hold around 450 would be nice, but looks like it wants to try to figure out what it wants to do on the day. It's another pharmaceutical though, so a lot of pharmaceuticals this month, man, have been going live. I did make money on the one that the jail um application because I kind of figured it was going to be an emotional play between the pro-lifers and the pro-choicers, and I was like, I'll make some money on y'all, bro. Y'all just fight it out. Do what you got to do, you know. But yeah, I'll towards the end I'll go back over my stats for this month. I only took 2 trades, both of them are green, so I only needed 2. But if I see something else, I will capitalize. Most definitely. VRC finding a little buying pressure right above this level, this previous level that it's trying to hold up. ESPR just kind of losing out on the love for today. I don't think it's going to be able to compete. HLP, I don't think that one's going to be able to compete either. GNS it can stick around for a while. We'll keep it there. HUBC showing a little bit of green, but just not getting that the relative volume that we like to look for here. I'm just looking over here at the statistics here. I like to see at least 2 times the norm on these relative volumes and a good ATR out here. Okay. VRC, man. I think VRC may be the one on the day. I'm not gonna hold you. I think that's gonna be the one that's gonna surprise everybody and probably continue higher because looking out here on this monthly chart, this is just an opinion, just an opinion. But looking out on this monthly chart with their catalyst that they have, it may be a grinder up. It may be. Looks like a double bottom on the 4-hour here at the $4, pop back up here to this level of the 440s, which you could use as a nice level of a stop level to stop out there if it goes past the 450 or 440s. But looking out here on the monthly chart, I mean, the next level, it can push into this previous buying area, but it can hold above the 470s, hold above this previous, month here, 480s, and get going up. Yeah, I mean, it could look decent on a Friday. So we'll see what happens there. But I do like to zoom out. Zoom out, look at the higher time frames, see where this thing has held before, and we can see a clear level here. Even back here in August, September month, it faced this level as resistance, ripped through it on here, and then it's coming back to this level. So will the rip be as strong as this one? I don't know. This previous rip. Looking over here on the monthly, do we have any gaps being filled? I thought I just saw one. There's a gap up here, $6 to what? 6 to 74, and that's a gap on the weekly chart. Let's jump over to the daily chart. Are there any other gaps being filled? This gap has already been filled, but this one hasn't. Up here towards the 5, 7, or 714s, all these gaps up here. So it's definitely got some places to be filled up there. Let's also look at the statistics on this thing. When it comes to like the float and all of that good stuff. Statistics for VRCA. Float looking like 17.86 million on that one. We'd like to cross-reference that though. VRCA. VRCA. So over here, float is around 25.09 million. It is shortable and it is optionable. Okay. So let's go over here and see if it has any shelves. VRCA. Shelf registration was last year that it had. VRCA. But looking like it's holding up, trying to get over those 490s right now though. VRCA. Okay. Float 25.09 over here as well. All right. So pretty much seen what we need to see. Let me just check a couple more spots. Float 25. Okay, yeah. So about 25 million, right around 20 million in the float. Still a low float by most people's standards. And holding right around this top. Okay. HUBC is not exciting at all. I don't think it's going to attract anybody. So I'm going to take that one off. So the main ones that we're looking at is HLP still and VRCA. HLP still holding up this 105 level that we talked about earlier. This level has been tested, and this is confirmation that there is buying around this 105 level. So yesterday I was talking to Donnell about getting those confirmations, those buy signals, seeing this thing open up a higher high here, and we see these nice buying wicks down here. Even though it's cheap, that's pretty much the confirmation that I'll be looking for on something that meets my criteria. This one does not, because the ATR is way too low. But yeah, definitely a nice buying area off of that 105, and now it's looking to get on up. I don't know what its reaction will be up to this 125. This is the next level that it would need to snap to get going higher, but definitely an interesting one off of that 105. We've been calling 105 for the whole morning, you know. That's the obvious level that kind of stuck out from the monthly chart. Anyway, let's jump over here, back over to VRCA, which continues to struggle around. Let's see. Let me see any more chats. HH, if you're doing support and resistance nowadays, why aren't you drawing slopes? I do not believe in trends. I do not trade trends. That's been, now statistically, I've seen in my statistics that trends are the greatest way for me to lose money. Saying, oh yeah, that's a downtrend, or oh yeah, that's a slope. I want obvious support and resistance. That's what I want. If it's not obvious, I don't care about the trend. I don't care if it's doing a mountain bike into, you know, a ramp or whatever. I don't care about a curl. I want support and resistance. That's it. That's all I need. Support and resistance. Let me jump over here and pull up my TraderSync journal while we're coming into the close of this one. So this is the journal that I use. This is the journal that I use right here. My current win rate is 60%. Loss is 39% on the year. So I'm 60, right around 60, 40%. My last trades, I traded ADTX, which was that contraceptive gel. around almost $600. And then that was a 58-cent winner on that one. And then EYPT, I got $1.12 per share on that one. Then BMEA, and then I was stupid enough to try to trade Dix with the same strategy. It did not work. It just didn't move fast enough. I had to cut the trade, but I was risking. I think my risk was 300 on that one, but when I felt that it wasn't going to be able to make the move, and it was about to close the day, I just went ahead and closed it and just counted it as a loss, whatever. But yeah, so those are the last trades, and I really haven't traded that much. I've been looking for A plus setups, as people like to say. So I only took 2 trades this month, one last Monday and one on Tuesday. So last month I took what, 2 trades, and I took 2 weeks off last week. I didn't even touch the markets. I watched, but I didn't touch the markets in these 2 weeks. But yeah, 2 trades there. So you know, not really trading like a maniac, but just I want the quality setups into quality support. The trend, it factors in when I was going over my calculator. Where's the calculator? When I was going over the calculator here, it factors in, is there an obvious trend, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is the obvious support and obvious catalyst on the day. So I actually built a calculator. Basically, I can put in. It basically gives me a stop loss for whatever I want to get in. So let's say if I was going to trade a VR, whatever, VRC, whatever. So the price. Let's say I want an entry price. Let's go look at. Maybe I want an entry price of 450, right? 450. So let's go type that in. 450. All right. So my risk that I've been risking is around $300 max share size based on what I put in. I could take 1,626 shares, whatever. Minimum share size. I can do a custom share size if I want to, and then it basically gives me the stop for where to get out, right? Um, and it also calculates how I need to size in to get the max size. So I can take about 230 shares, 230 share lot sizes. So I don't believe in just going all in at once. I believe in building a position. So my filler position on this one would be 232 or around that, maybe 250, just to make it a rounded number, 225, as a filler position, kind of just filling the market out, and then I go ahead and put some more in when I see confirmation that it's going to be strong. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I have a grading scale, where I come over here and I say, okay, the scale is on a 1 to 2 or a 0 to 2 basis. 0 being it's not what I'm looking for. Like an obvious catalyst, if it doesn't have it, it's gonna be a 0. If it's a kind of iffy catalyst, it's gonna be a 1. If it's good catalyst, it'll be a 2. So basically, I grade every trade is what I do. And right now, BRCA is doing some crazy stuff right now. I just looked over it, and I am about to get ready to go into a meeting as well. But yeah, pretty much grading every trade. I don't use any indicators, and I'm only looking for support. That's it. That's all I want is support. That's it. Let me go back and read some of these y'all been talking. Let me see. Okay, large scale HH. Usually do most recent and previous high, but I never trust it. Trend breaks, but yeah, it's not my signal either. Trends are also called backwards momentum, and they lag as opposed to finding out the source of the move. Uh, I will I will use relevant momentum, which is making groups and going long or short on the ones at the top or bottom. This is good stuff you're doing. How many trades do you aim to take a month? I've been taking, so average is about 6 trades a month for me. Um, I really haven't seen a need or really don't see those good opportunities more than like 6 times in a month. But on each of those, if I can take 6 trades and I'm 60/40, so I'm winning 60% of the time, I'm looking to get around like $300 to $500. based on what share size that I'm doing. I mean, if I'm going bigger share size, I'm still looking right around the 300, 500 per trade mark. Um, let's see. So basically, he says he's not going off of a number. Yeah, it's basically when the setup appears. Sometimes the setup appears 6 times. If it appears 6 times, that'll be my um my frequency. But if it doesn't appear, I just don't take the trades. Um, it says I have this calculation done for me all in a hot button. Yeah, well, I went the cheap route. So I don't have the hot key, but I could just enter my stuff in and let it flow. Um Dallas says 0 losses and 7 wins, pretty well done. How and where did you place your trades? So let me go back to ADTX. I think that was the ticker. So on ADTX here, and I'm gonna jump into that meeting in just a minute. ADTX, I actually saw it. First of all, it had to meet the criteria on the day. So on this day, you can kind of see where it went crazy in here. It was falling, and I had seen resistance on, if I could find it, I had seen back on the monthly chart on ADTX, the monthly chart did not look good. It gives back profits, and so I wasn't looking to hold this thing or do anything. I wasn't looking for it to hold anything on the day. And so it was coming down into these levels, and my zones are still here from when I traded it. So I saw this bottom 350, and during the day I had calculated that it had something going on. I don't know if I looked into the lower time frames to find the level. I probably did because I don't see it on the higher time frames. But this $6 level, that's what it was. We were watching it. $6 level was where I saw that it could hold during that time. Zooming in here on the daily chart, the $6 level right here was a pretty powerful spot with reading the level 2, with looking at where people were trading, where the price level that most people were interested in. So $6 level was what I saw on that day. It's really, you can't really go back and see it because I was looking at everything. I was looking at the uh, price or volume per price, and then also the levels on the chart. So on this, I saw $6 from, I think it was a lower time frame. So right here, let's jump over here to the 15 minute. I believe this is where the majority of this bias came from after it met the criteria. So during pre-market, it came down and found some buying pressure around the 6. Let me zoom in a little bit. So it found this buying pressure, which it shot up from out of pre-market. And this level here interested me. And I was like, okay, if this thing comes back to 6, I want to see it come down here and hold this $6 level, or at least right around it. And so after, now this took some patience because these are 15-minute bars. So this is a 15-minute fall from 9 down here to 784. And then we had a little bit of consolidation and then a fall. So I was like, it needs to break back into or underneath this $7 level, which it did. So it broke the $7 level, did a little bit of consolidation, and that next level right here, this little support level here that it came into, I waited for it to get as close as possible to this and hold. And so it started holding, and I waited for this red candle here to close. And I took my first trade. I got in at 618. Was my first kind of just a filler position. And then it kept coming down here, but holding this 6. So I entered a little bit more, and I took 1,000 shares right off of this support level, looking for it to try to repeat this move here, which people have. It's obvious, like people are like, okay, it did this once, it could do this again, because a lot of people that get in, they're like, well, patterns repeat. But I did not think that it can redo this. What I was looking at is this shoulder here. I was looking at this little, let me zoom in a little bit more. this little shoulder here is where I wanted to sell, right back at the 7. So I got in with an average price of 618, and it went back up here on 1,000 shares to right around, and I was selling on this green candle. I didn't wait till this fall. I just sold on this green candle because it gave me what I wanted. I made it back to what I thought would be a shoulder here, which turned out to be a shoulder. So, coming back up here to 7, I was throwing out shares, getting my sales out, and it just kept playing. I was like, yeah, I'm okay with it. And I sold a little. I didn't sell everything up here. I think I cut like I definitely sold over half. I took like 500 shares off on this move, and I was holding like half, and it just kept playing. I just kept chopping it off, chopping it off. Either it's gonna go or it's not, because this last one, if it was gonna repeat this, it would have been super strong through this level. But it showed weakness at this shoulder, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm good. I'm good with that. I would just take the profit. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm glad with what I made. And so yeah, that one was 58 cents worth of profit there. Was the average profit take. I made more than 50 cents, but average where I was chopping off, as it was going up, was 58 cents per share on 1,000 shares. Um, but yeah, that's pretty dope. But that's what I'm looking for. I don't know. Like when I look at this chart, I don't know where VWAP was. I don't know where the SMA, the EMA. I don't know where the MACD is. I don't know where any of that is. All I know is there is support here, and I want to try this support. That's it. So if it was below the VWAP, if it was above the VWAP, I don't know. I just took the trade on support and resistance after it met my criteria, after it had an ATR of over $1, it had the relative volume of I think matter of fact, I actually have it on I actually have the calculations in here for that day, because I make a calculator for each of these that I take. So let me see my drive. Stop loss calculation. Here it is on the 12th. So 12/12. I'm gonna open this real quick. So basically, this is the calculations for that day. It came out with a score of 90, and I had this was my expected price that I wanted to see, wanted to enter in it. I didn't quite get that. I got 618 instead of 610, but this was the price that I was looking at getting with a risk of $300, and so it calculated that my stop should be at 585, right? So I told Donnell, and we were talking in the Discord, hey, if this thing starts to break 590, I'm gonna be out, because this stop loss risk, that's $300. I'm out, right? And I took a custom share size. I could have took a little bit more, but right around 1,000 was a custom. It met the criteria, had the relative volume, this was the acquisition of a company that made a gel birth control, was the catalyst. Obvious support, $6 based on the daily chart. Okay, well that's the time frame I was looking at, the daily chart. So see, when you take notes and everything, it's there. So even though I forgot, I can go back and look and be like, what was I looking at? Oh, $6 based on the daily chart. The trend, it really didn't have an obvious trend, but it had the relative volume and all of that. And during the overall market was bullish, so it came out with a score of 90. And so I elected not to take a max size. I just took a little bit, and said, hey, this is my risk. What it does is what it does. Let's get it. And that's kind of how I took the trade. So, and then I took a screenshot of the actual scans during that time. Their relative volume was 116 times the normal. The relative standard deviation was 7 deviations out from the normal, and the ATR was over 1. So that's what I was looking at. Met my criteria, so I took the trade. And so I make one of these calculations each time I take a trade. And yes, I have time to do all this before the trade. Yep. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you're not going to have time if it's moving too fast, too bad. Let it go. It'll come back. That's how I think about it. It'll come back. But anyway, I do need to get out of here. I need to get to my morning meeting. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will be back on Monday morning. We're coming into we're passing the halfway point on the month. Um, but yeah, I gotta get to this meeting. Let me get on out of here. Appreciate you guys once again. Um, like I said, I'll be back Monday morning. And as always, I'll look back over y'all's questions and everything and try to get some answers as well for some of the stuff that I wasn't able to read over. But you can come into the Discord. We have the Discord where you can talk to me like all day. But yeah, that's it. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.